Okay, so welcome to 5-bay tent erection. First thing to do is to make sure that you've got all parts of the tent. So lay it all out first, make sure you've got all the fittings. These are side fittings. And these are ridge fittings, and they're labelled top and side. There are poles which go across and there are poles which go up. These are ridge poles, these are cross poles. So lay it all out and then put it all together, starting at one end and working your way along. Don't do one side first and then the other side. You do them end to middle to end. Thank you. Okay, it's important when you assemble a tent of this size that you have a good number of people. You need at least 4, maybe 5 to assemble one of these tents. So, okay gang, let's start assembling. Important that you recognise the difference between a side, between a ridge pole and a side. Look at the difference in angles between the two, and that the side has longer pieces than the ridge pole. For this, it's best if the team tries to work at the same pace so that they all come along the tent at the same time. Lovely, that's good for this. Alright, whilst the team are assembling the tent, it's important that one person goes around and checks that all these fittings are up tight, because you will have great difficulty putting the canvas on if they aren't all jointed together properly. If it looks difficult or feels difficult, then it's wrong. So just go back and check that all the fittings are together. This looks pretty good actually. We'll find out in a minute when we put the tent, when we put the canvas on top. Okay, so then get the team to put the canvas over the top of the partly assembled ridge. The most important thing about this is to make sure you've got it the right way up so that the inside faces downwards. Don't laugh, it's easy to make a mistake. The way you check this is by taking a look at the fixings which are underneath the ridge. See if we can get one here. Because these are the things which attach to the pole. Now's the time when you find out whether you put it all together properly. We put your hand on the ridge first, get some other to go up the other end. Put their hand on the ridge. Does it fit, Christine?
Yes.
Okay, so we've done a good job there. Next we're going to fix the ridge, because you need to do this whilst this is ground level, because it's much easier to do than when you put the legs on the side. So fix the ridge on and all the fixings along here down to the corner. Okay, so now we've established where the ridge is. The most important fixing to get is the one by the ridge. So put the string through the eyelet the right way round and attach them like that. You always want these things on the inside, so always feed the cord through the inside and then attach the bobble at the bottom. Then get your team to lock the ridge on all the way round. So from the inside here and over here. Mind your fingers, these things can hurt when they snap. So again, from the inside and over the, usually said done, over the top. Right. There we go. Okay, if one of the team can go up the back and just attach the one for Chris, and we'll finish off doing these. Okay, next thing to do is to lay the legs out. These are ordinary legs with one hole at the bottom of them. And these are corner poles with lots of holes at the bottom of them. Got that? Lots of holes. Then assemble a team of idiots. Here's the team of idiots. And as many people as you can, getting, we're going to lift the ridge pole and insert the legs. The most important thing when you do this is to run a finger gently around the inside of the fitting to make sure there's no dirt or earth inside there, otherwise the legs won't fit properly. So you've got to lift it up, then clean it. So on the count of 3, are you ready? You ready, Chris? We're going to lift this. 1, 2, 3, lift! Just run your finger around the inside there, make sure that's clean. And when you do this, make sure that the hole faces to the outside. The hole or the holes face to the outside. Do this, important, clean this off. Okay, so the holes are facing to the outside. Great, the next thing to do is to attach the tent to the frame. So again, get the toggles, and this is where you discover if you've put it all together properly. Because if it fits easily, you've done it properly. If it doesn't, you haven't. This one looks pretty good. So get the corner done first. Again, feed the toggle through from the inside. Just using these, always feed it through from the inside. That way, it's, when you come to take it down, it's much easier. Try and get some uniformity about how you attach the toggles. It makes it much easier. It also looks a little better. That's perfect. Good. Okay, we won't strap these down until we put the other side up. So we've got one set of legs on, and now the important thing is to put the two ends on. The reason being that with both sets of legs on, it's very difficult to reach the ridge. So to avoid the needing the use for ladders, we're going to put the ends on first before we put this set of legs on. So here's the end. We've got it the right way round. Here's the label facing inwards. So we attach the ridge first. Here's the pointed end. So that's going to go on there. Actually, Chris, I can use the existing toggles. So we'll just take these out of here. Take those out of there. And we can just push these through and use that toggle. But once again, the important thing is to get the ridge located first before you do anything else. This is the ridge, the middle of the tent. Okay, so now we've got both ends on. Next job is to put the second set of legs on. Okay, so time to put the last side up. So assemble your team of idiots, and on the count of 3, 1, 2, 3, lift! Again, just make sure the insides of the fittings are clean. And that the holes are facing towards the outside. Lovely. And now it's time to tension the whole roof using these tensioning straps. The next job is to tension the whole roof, and this is where you really find out whether you've constructed it correctly or not. Using the tensioning straps and the hooks on here. That's why it's important to have the holes facing to the outside of the tent. And you pull this down as tight as you can, because the tighter you get it, the less puddles you're going to get in the roof. but you don't want it so tight that you start to rip things. That's it. So we've assembled the ends here, and now we're going to put the sides on. Okay, so on a long tent like this, one handy tip you can have is to find the Velcro that goes around the poles first and loosely sight that on the poles, or loosely fix it on the poles. Then everything's in place. You just need the top ones, but you can do the middle ones as well if you want. And then you know you've got the sheet in the right place.
Particularly if it's windy outside.
It doesn't have to be tight, it just has to be on there. You can adjust it all later. Right, then get your toggling team going. And again, you can use the toggles which you use for the roof. Which is probably a bit of an ask on this. First one's always the most difficult. Get that sighted. So, if you can use the existing toggles, like this one, then you can. If it's too much of a stretch, then just put new toggles on the side here. And attach the rest of the Velcro along the poles. And that's it. Job done.